Hello everyone, and welcome to another installment of Erin's Book Club. I have another book that I read that I would like to do a new review on. So the book that I read was called Funeral Games by Colin Heintze. So I picked up this book and my first impression was the cover is very loud and the writing is very difficult to read. Like it's almost too fanciful. Like it's hard to read that it says funeral games. And the backing of it is written in that same kind of hard to read script that is in the front. So I didn't really know much to think of this because I didn't know what I was getting into. Let me read the back of it first to you. Ingerville is the country of it's the country of the dead. Despised by the wider world, blighted by history, since the beginning of time, it has honored one law, the death rule, and the living submit. No one remembers why Ingerville nobles return as ghosts after their deaths, to enjoy a brief life of pleasure and plenty, followed by an eternity of reigning from beyond the grave. Is the fate of all Ingerville lords all but one. Now again, the writing's really hard to read, which is why I'm struggling here a bit. As the youngest son of the king's third wife, Cypher never thought he would amount to anything. He is content to live out a contemplative life free from the scourges of power and politics that infatuate his peers. But after answering the summons of the palace, a sprawling, ever-expanding repository for Ingerville's ghosts, he finds himself at the heart of a dynastic struggle, centuries in the making. Funerals are happy occasions in Ingerville. The king is planning for his to be the most decadent in the country's long memory. He does not know that, unlike every lord before him, he will not return to rule alongside his ancestors. He will die the true death, sparking a succession crisis that throws the noble families into chaos amidst the violence and intrigue. Cypher alone asks what really happened to the king. The deeper Cypher digs, the more he realizes these events are connected to others dating back to the founding of his father's dynasty. Let the games begin. So, you saw how I struggled to read the back of this, which totally destroyed the concept of the story. And after reading this, I didn't even know if I wanted to read the book because it was just so hard to follow. And that's a shame because the book was amazing. The first few sentences in, I didn't know. It was hard to follow what was going on. But as you got into it, I couldn't put this book down. I think I finished it in 3 days. The author takes a great effort into describing what the world would be if all of the ghosts came back. And where would you keep all of these ghosts? And what would happen to all these ghosts that live for centuries after they've died? And what if it was just the nobles? And then who is running the world if it is the ghosts that are helping to rule? And then on top of that was the mystery of the death of his father and what he had to go through to solve that mystery. The entire book was well written. It was fast paced. It was real. When they did finally have again, spoilers are going to happen in this review. I'd never ever do a spoiler-free review, just so you know. So, in the end, when they have a clan war, and all the clans kind of get together, and you expect your hero to win, he doesn't. And even when he wins in the end, he loses, because the one great sacrifice he has to make haunts him for the rest of his life. And he's got a nobility about him that he doesn't allow it to affect the rest of his life in his service of the king. But it haunts him. Just a really well-written book, and that I enjoyed every second of. And in the end of the book, after about the author that you have, there are pages here of other books that he's done. And there's one that I want to read. Homunculus and the Cat by Nathan Croft. It sounds really, really good. And it, you know, felines, cats. Pilgrim has just been going by. You know I'm a cat person. So that was pretty neat too. But all in all, this book is a book on intrigue, a book on royal succession, but not like one that you would ever read before. And it brings in zombies and ghosts like you never thought of. And the outlook of the main character being less than what everybody thinks he is, and how he uses his life to help others without expecting anything in return and still gets things in return. It's just a well-written book that I think I'm going to keep forever in my collection. So all of you, thank you very much for listening to another review from me. And other than this god-awful lettering, this is a very lovely title, a very lovely cover, and a very good book. So thank you very much, guys, and I'll let you know when I have another book read.